Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. So in this video, we are going to cover top 50 plus Java 8 streams coding questions and answers. So here we are covering only coding questions and corresponding answers. And as you all know, Java 8 is released long back. Even then, not many of the Java developers are not comfortable with Java 8 concepts, Java 8 streams, Java 8 coding styles. It will become tricky for many of the developers to crack the interviews when Java 8 streams questions are asked. So in order to make that easy, in order to help them to crack the Java 8 streams related questions in the interview, so with this video, I would definitely tell you can crack Java Streams questions easily. So follow the questions, watch till the video till the end. If you have any questions, ask in the comment section. So please like this video and subscribe to our channel. It will motivate us to create some more interesting videos. Let's get started. So the next question is we have to remove the duplicates from a list and we have to preserve the order using Java. So I'll just repeat. We have to remove the duplicates and preserve the input order also, or the element order in the list. And we have to print the result. So I hope you understood the question. So let's see how to do it. Here, right, I have created an array list. It contains some strings. So expectation is we have to remove the duplicates and preserve the order. So basically, we have to take this list and stream. This is the first 10 basic things. So once we start streaming, it's like a loop. Once we start streaming, next we have to see how to remove the duplicates. In streams, there is a very simple method that's called as distinct. So you can go with distinct, okay? It will basically remove the duplicates and retain only the distinct elements. Let's say if banana is appearing twice, right? It will remove the duplicate banana and retain only once. So basically every string with one frequency. So next is we can basically move it to list, or if you want we can even print it also. So this should do the magic. Let's try to run it. So you can see we have removed the duplicates and we got this final list. Order is preserved: apple, banana and orange. So how simple it is, right? Because in Java 7 world it was a bit tricky because you had to basically go through the entire list to see how many times it is appearing, and after that you have to basically print the distinct element. But here it is pretty straightforward. You can rely on distinct method. It will remove the duplicates and it will provide you the unique elements. So let's say a requirement is just to remove the duplicates. No need to preserve the order. So we can even do one more way, that is basically stream it, and we can do to like direct set. That is, if we do this, and we can even print this result as well. So this is another way we can do it. So let me try to run it. So this is a standard way. What we are doing is we are taking a list and putting into set. That's it. So no any fancy stuff here. We are taking list, putting into set. So as we know, set will only retain the unique elements. Duplicate elements are removed. So this is another way to do it. But yeah, if I hover on this, right, it is suggesting another way. We can even do this also. If we're using Java 7 variant, because set will remove the duplicates. I hope you understood. The first way of using was distinct, and second is even you can rely on set if there was no restriction on preserving the order. Basically, we are given with a list of numbers. We have to find all the numbers starting with 1. Seems easy, but it's a tricky problem. Let's see how to do it. This is the question. So we have to find all the numbers starting with 1 using streams. You can see we are given with an array list. It contains numbers. There are some numbers that starts with 1. It seems easy, but if you think, right, in integers functionality, in integer class, there is no any method to find out starts with. So that's where the problem becomes tricky. So one trivial way is like by using kind of taking mod and taking division. So but that will become a tricky one because we have to reach the starting index. So we have to follow some little trickier approaches. But is there any easier way we can do it? So the output we are expecting is we can either print or we can capture it in a list. Maybe I'll go with a list. I'll go with list of integer, and we have to basically find all the numbers starting with 1. Numbers starting 1, I can say. So we have to basically stream the numbers. That's the first thing. So next thing is we know we have to filter. Filter is basically to filter out that criteria. Like then we can print that result. So in case filter is like a check, if check. In this we have to specify all the numbers starting with 1. Give me all the numbers starting with 1, and next we can print it. So how to do it? Because as I said, now let's say if I go with number here and let's say the num, there is no starting or ending and nothing is there. So what I can do is I have to convert this into string. Okay, easy ways I can go with string value of num. Once I convert the number to string, string has a functionality starts with. So here I can specify starts with 1. Now our problem is solved completely. I'll just move it to list, and we can just print the list here. So printing is straightforward. We'll use for each, and we'll use system out println. So this will print the result. Let's try to run it and check. So you can see, right? It has printed all the numbers starting with 1. So let's say requirement is bit different. Interviewer changed the requirement. He is saying list out all the numbers which are not starting with 1. So then it is pretty straightforward. Just put not here and run. This should basically get us all the numbers which are not starting with 1. I hope you got it. How you can use a negation here. And I think this is pretty much enough for this problem because we have some variations we'll discuss in the future questions. I hope you understood how to basically find out all the numbers just starting with 1. Easy ways like converting number into string and using string functionality. Here one minor thing you can do instead of string value of, what you can do is maybe you can go with string conversion here. This is another way you can do it. There's also another way converting number to string. But better is you can go with string dot value of, because there is already functionality which is available in the Java. So that's the best thing. You can use that library and achieve it. So I hope you understood this question, and I hope you understood how you can write the code for the same. Let's move on to the next question. So next question is how to join two streams. So this is one of the tricky one because most of the times we have worked with one stream, but hardly we'll get chance to work with two streams. So here the expectation is we have to merge or join two streams into single stream. So let's see how to do it. So let us try to understand how to join two streams. So here I have created two lists, list 1 and list 2. So expectation is I have to create two streams out of it and merge it into single stream, and let's print the result. So the expected outcome is a stream, and we are using two lists of integer. So final one will contain list. So let's name maybe combined streams, and let's see how to do it. In case of stream, right, there is a method called concat. What this concat was, it is used to merge the two streams. So here I'm taking first stream, and here I'll take the second stream, and boom. This will basically merge both the streams into single stream. So let's try to see the output also. Combine streams, as we already did, where we'll use for each and sys out, and I think that's it. So this will print the uh, final merge stream result. Yeah, you can see all the numbers from two lists are combined and printed here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hope you understood how to join two streams. This is important for the next question also. So I hope you understood how to do it. Let's move on to the next question. I hope you understood this problem clearly. Here we have two sorted lists. We have to merge it into single sorted list using Java streams. So here requirement is bit different. In the previous question, requirement was just to merge the two streams. There was no any condition on sorting or anything. Here it is like already it is sorted. We have to merge it into basically final list, and that should also be sorted. So let's see how to do it. Here I've created the two lists same as before. So we have to basically merge these two lists. The final list should be sorted. So I hope you got the requirement clearly. So the requirement is final outcome should be again list. Okay. So let's try to do it. So final expected outcome is of type list. We can say merged sorted list. Please pay attention to all the naming conventions also, so which is very much important to basically come up with quality code. So we know we can concat two streams. So that's the first thing I'll do. List one dot stream and list two dot stream. So next thing is we have to basically sort the list. So at this stage we have concatenated the streams. Here we are sorting, and you can specify is it ascending or descending. So I'm going with ascending. And the next thing is we have to collect it. Collect it to what? Collect it to a list. So basically there is a function called list to list. You can use this also. It's a pretty straightforward one. Initially we used to do collect to a list. It's pretty straightforward. Dot to list will handle that. So we have to print the result. As you know, it's pretty straightforward. We have to do for each and we have to do sys out. So let's see the output. You can see the result also. It's sorted, and that's it. I hope you understood how you can merge the two sorted list and how to get the sorted final list also from that. Let's move on to the next question. Next question is check if a list of integers contains a prime number using Java streams. So in other words, you are given with array of integers. You have to check whether any of these integers are prime number. So I hope you know what is prime number. Prime number means a number which is divisible by itself, or one is called prime number. So let's see how to implement this. So here, if you see, right, we are given with an array list which contains these elements. So this we are storing it in a list. Okay. So the task is to basically check if task is to find this list contains any prime number. Prime number, as I said, no, the number which is divisible by itself or one is called prime number. And example prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, etc. So these are all divided by itself or one. So these are all called prime number, and one is not a prime number, just for information. So how to find a number is prime or not? So first maybe write that prime number logic. After that we'll see how to use that in streams. So I'll just write that. I'll go with public static. I don't want to create an object of it. Let's go with Boolean. And this method is to check the passed number. Whatever the number we are passing to this method, it will check whether it is prime or not. So as I said, if a number is equal to or less than 1, this is not a prime, so I'm returning false here directly. So other than that, we have to see for a rest of numbers. So I'll start with int. So since 1 is not a prime number, I'll start with 2 and till how much we have to continue. So there is a standard uh, instruction like we can continue till square root of the number and I plus plus. So what we'll do is we'll start iterating from 2 to the mat dot square root of the number. And here what we'll do is if the given number, if we do the mod with that index, if it gets 0. So basically, if the given number is divisible by the range of numbers between 2 to the square root of the number, then it is considered as non-prime. So we have to return false or else we have to return true. I hope you understood the logic. So what we are doing is we are basically checking, the first check is less than or equals to 1. 1 is not a prime and less than 1 is also not a prime. And we start from 2 and we'll try to divide the given number from 2 till the mat dot square root of the number. So that's how basically we can find whether the given number is prime or not. This is one of the optimized technique. So let's try to use this in the streams. Let's try to understand. So basically this is prime will return true or false, right? So at the end also we have to see contains prime. So given array list contains prime or not, we have to see. We don't need to tell what number is prime. So it's basically numbers. So I hope you understood. We don't need to tell which number is prime. We just have to say whether array contains prime or not. So any match we already seen in some examples. So any match, what it does is it will take the stream and it will compare with the logic which we are writing inside the any match. If it satisfies, then it will return true from there and it will not execute further. So I'll first write the lambda version. After that, I'll write the method reference version. So here it is an element or number, and we have to pass it on to is prime method. Since it is static, I'm directly able to call the method. So this is the element. That's it. So any match is a terminal operation. So it will return true or false based on this condition. So let's try to write it. So contains, maybe I can say array list contains prime number. So here I'm doing plus contains prime. Uh, as I always do, I'll replace this with method reference. You guys have already learned how to do it, so I don't want to run twice. I'll just run with this example, this version. So you can see array list contains prime number, true it is saying. So because if you see, right, it contains 11. 11 is a prime number, which is divisible by itself and divisible by 1. So this is how we are basically finding it contains prime or not. Say if the requirement was to print all the prime numbers in a given array list. So how to change this code to match that? It's very simple. So maybe I'll remove this. This is not required anymore. And let's print it also. So this is also not required. So instead of any match, right, we have to filter it. That's it. So we are streaming and we are filtering based on this check. After that, we can basically, so to list we can do. Let's collect to list and we can do for each on it and we can print it. Or even we can even no need to do to list, directly we can do for each. So this is also fine. So we are basically checking here and we are printing here. I hope you understood. Previously our task was to find if the array list contains the prime number. Now the requirement is print it. So instead of any match, I've added filter. So this filter is basically checks that condition. If it satisfies, then result will be printed. Let's run it. So you can see it is printing 11. 11 is the prime number. So I hope you understood. Instead of this prime check using loops, can we do any other way using Java stream functionality itself? So let's try to understand that. Sort of what I'm trying to say is, instead of this loop, can we use some Java 8 functionality to achieve the same behavior? So it's pretty simple. What we can do is, so basically here we can use something called int stream. So by using int stream, you can generate that range of numbers, whatever we were doing using the for loop, right? Same thing we can do it. So we can use something called range closed. So which means it will include the start and end number. So we'll start with 2 and we will go till mat dot square root of the number. The previous logic is just above. You can see that. Replace this forward I'm just trying to replace this for loop logic with this int stream. I'm using range closed because I want the starting and ending number also to be part of my calculation. So I hope you understood. I'm getting an error here because it is basically expecting integer. So I'm just typecasting it to integer. Next is we just have to say none match. So any match we understood. What any match does is if the condition which is inside the any match, if it satisfies, it returns true. So here it is same thing. None match also check. If this condition is not matching, then it returns the true. What condition I'm writing here is important. So I'm basically saying if the number whatever is passed, if it is divisible by the I, the range. That's it. So I'll just return this and I'll explain one more time what is happening. So I'll just return it here. So any match and none match. So what it does is like there will be condition will specify inside this, right? Any match or unmatch. So it will try to execute. So none match, if you see, right, returns whether no element of the stream match the provided predicate. Means so basically I'll just take out this is enough. Now I have created a range starting from 2 and tell the math dot square root number, both are included in the range. I'm checking none match. So for every element I'm checking num mod I equals 0. So if this stream, if any of, I mean none of the numbers matches here, means I'll start from 2, go till square root of num, divide the given number with that. If none of them matches this condition, means this mod equals to 0, then this returns true, otherwise it returns false. I hope you understood. So any match, so it checks any of the condition matches for the stream we are passing. So we are passing, for example, here, right, we are passing some 6, 7 numbers and we are checking any of the prime check is passing. If so, return true here. So same inside this prime method, what we are doing is for the given number, when we start from 2 till the square root of number, if we divide, if it not matches that and returns true. So if I run this, if you don't still understand, then maybe you can experiment with this and you will understand. So I'm not printing the result, so that's why you're not getting anything. So maybe you can say Boolean, maybe I can say is prime. So I'll just add this is out statement. Given array list contains prime number. So here if I add is prime, so it will say true or false. Now if I run this, you can see it contains prime number. Let's say if I remove this, then run this, it should say false. I hope you got it. So in case of any match, as the name indicates, any of the values of this numbers matches with this returns true. None match means all of the numbers which we are streaming here and executing this condition, right? If it is not matching, then return true. So that is the difference. So play with it, understand more, or else you can fall back to the first solution which I explained. writing the for loop based is prime and using it. I hope you understood. So I'm trying to give multiple variations of few problems so that you can understand how you can write it in a different way. But I'm not doing this for all the questions because it may confuse you. So I hope you understood how to solve this problem. Let's move on to the next question. How to debug streams using peak. So we have already mentioned the method name also. Basically, it's about debugging the streams. That's one of the trickiest thing because we'll be doing multiple operations in each stage and seeing what is happening in each stage and what is the response from the previous stage is bit trickier. So we can use peak here and let's see how to do it with an example. Yeah, so the question is like debugging some stream flow using peak. So here, right, we are basically finding all the words with starting with A and we are converting it uppercase and storing that result in a list. So, but let's say I want to check what is happening in each stage. So what I can do is I can use peak here. So here I can specify, for example, I can say maybe this is the original word before conversion, right? I would say original or the input, you can say anything. And I'll just print that word here. That's the first thing. And if I have to see after filter, what are all the results coming out? So here I can again add this is out. So this will basically list down all the elements after the filter. But what I would recommend is let's not go with method reference here because we can't add the lock statement. So as we know, right, while debugging, one of the way to debug is by printing the results. That's what we are doing with peak. So here maybe I can say after filter and I'll just mention the word which is returned after filter. And this is again after uppercase if I have to see the result. I can do that. So here I can say uh, after uppercase. So this is very handy and very useful in debugging the streams. So you can see we can get to know what is happening at each stage and what is the outcome after the each stage. And this can be used as an intermediary operation only. This can be used as an intermediate operation, not the terminal. Like after this list, I can't say peak here, which is not allowed. Only in the intermediate stage I can use it. Let's try to print it and see what it prints. Yeah, you can see here what is happening is at every word which is going through, right? So we have this apple, banana, avocado, and blueberry in this list of words. So this is a clear thing. You can understand how the iteration is happening. It's first taking the apple, after filtering also the apple, and after the uppercase, we are getting apple out of it. So we are basically filtering only those words which are starting with A. So we have to get basically apple and avocado. But let's say if I have to debug whether it is working fine or not, it is clearly stating that. So original word is banana, but if you see it is not coming after filter. Same thing with even the last word blueberry. So I hope it's useful. I hope you understood how you can use peak to debug. So the next question is we are given with list of strings. We have to find out those strings which starts with a number. I'll just reiterate the question. So we have to find the strings which starts with a number in a given list of strings. So let's see how to do it. So here we have a bunch of strings. It's basically a list of string. Some of the strings are containing a number in the first place and rest are complete characters. So how to find out those strings which starts with a number? Let's just think about in a Java 7 way, okay? So in order to find character is a digit or not, what we can do is we can rely on character is digit. So this will help us to find out the character is digit or not. We can even find out alphabetic and we can have multiple other options as well. I'll go with this one. So whatever the character we pass here, right, it will say is it a number or not. This will solve half the problem. So mainly we have to pass the first character of the string to this function. If it matches, then we have to put it in the output. Let's show it. I hope you got it. So start iterating on every string. See the first character of a string. If it matches as a digit, then put it as the output. So let's try to code it. So list, we have to stream it. This is the first thing. Next is we may have to see if there are empty strings in the given input. So this is one of the good practice. It's always better to basically handle these edge cases. So if it is explicitly mentioned, it's well and good. If they say it can contain empty, it's better to handle. So it's S, and what I'll say is maybe I can say it is str string, and str is empty. So it should not be empty. That is a restriction. And the next one is very simple. The character is digit. So basically we are iterating over the list of strings. We got one string here. So now what I have to do is str.caret of the first character, that is 0th one, whether it is a digit or not. If so, then maybe I'll just print that. I'll just add an s out here. So let me run it. So this will basically check the given string contains number in the first place. I hope you got it. So we have printed the result also. So it's a pretty simple code. Let's move on to next question. Let's move on to next question. So question is we have to find given string is palindrome or not using streams. Question is pretty straightforward. We have to find the given string is palindrome or not using streams. So let's try to understand how to do it. So we are given with this string. We have to find out whether it is palindrome or not. So first we'll try to understand how we can do it in Java 7. Okay. So Java 7 way is simple. Like we have to compare the first and last character of a string using a loop, and we have to continue till basically till the middle. What I meant is I'll just create length here, input dot length, and here I'll continue till n by 2, I plus plus, and here the check is if basically input dot caret of I, that's nothing but the first character, if it is not equals to last character. So last character is length minus 1 minus I minus 1 because we can't directly retrieve the last element by using length. It should be length minus 1 only because array starts with 0. So if this is the case, then we have to say it's not palindrome, um, and we have to basically return from here. If not, we can say it's a palindrome. It's a palindrome. So logic, I hope you understood. We are basically taking some string here. Let me change it. And it will basically compare the first and last character. If it is not matching, then it will exit. If it matches, then I will be incremented. So the second character and the characters second from the last is also compared. We'll continue till the middle element. So this is how basically we will calculate the palindrome. This is a very straightforward logic. So it's like a kind of a two-pointer approach, I would say. So what we'll do in case of Java 8, let's try to understand. Okay. So in Java 8, basically we have to use similar logic only. So let's take int stream here. So int stream is basically to help to create a number with some range. So here I'll just go from start of the string to the middle of the string. That's what I did in for loop. I hope you remember. Next is what I'll do is I'll go with something called all match. So all match, what I'll do is I'll start with I. My condition is input dot caret of I if it is equals to input dot caret of the last character, that is input dot length minus 1 and minus I. So all match, what it does is all the characters should match. Then it will return true. Okay. So it will be like Boolean is prime will be returned. Um, so we can say is so it will return is palindrome. My bad. So we can say is palindrome. I can print this is palindrome. So I hope you understood. Answer is very simple. We are creating a range of numbers from 0 to n by 2. That's nothing but middle of the string. And here all match means whatever the condition we are adding, it should match for all the stream of character which we are iterating here. Means if it matches for all the characters of the first and last, then it is a palindrome. So we are basically returning here. Okay, let me run it. So it's pretty straightforward. It's a palindrome. We got answer as true. I hope you understood clearly how to find a string is palindrome or not using Java streams. So the next question is we have to sort the given list of decimals in reverse order. So sort the given list of decimals in a reverse order. Let's see how to do it. So here we are given with a list of decimals. So we have to sort it. So let's see how to do it. We are interested in descending order. Okay. So let's take this and let's start streaming the decimal number given. We have to sort it. There is a sorted method. Here we have to write how we have to sort. Since it is a primitive type, we don't need any custom logic. So we just have to say how to do it. If it is a, let's say, ascending order, we don't need to do anything. We can just print here. So let me just write it. So you can see it has just printed. It has just printed the result in a ascending order. Let's say the requirement is descending, right? So in that case, we have to say what is the reverse, what is the order of the sorting? We have to say comparator reverse order and run it. That's it. We got the reverse order decimal number. So this is applicable for even integers also. So sorting, and here we have to specify if it is a reverse order required. If it is ascending, then it's a by default sorted mechanism. We are printing the result here. I hope it's very clear. It's a very simple problem. So let's move on to the next question. Next question is we have to find the nth smallest element in the array. So it's array of integers using JavaScript. So we have to find the nth smallest element. It can be first smallest, second smallest. So that's why we have mentioned nth smallest using Java streams. Let's see how to do it. So you're given an array and I have taken ns3 here. Let's say if it was done in Java 7 world, what we used to first is we have to sort it, and after that maybe we have to skip the n minus 1 characters. Let's say third highest we are looking for, right? So first two we don't want, third one we need. So after sorting the array, so we were basically looking for the third element and we are basically returning. So it's basically return the sorted, let's say it is a sorted array. So if it's a sorted array, then index will be n. This is how we used to basically get it. So n position. Let's see how to do it in Java 8 world. Okay. So in Java 8 also sorting is required anyways, that we can't avoid. So how to do it is, so let's start iterating on this an array, and we have to basically stream it. So okay, and after that we have to basically sort it. Then only we can find the smallest or highest number. Next is we have to skip n minus 1 number. So n minus 1, why? Because let's say I need the third highest. So I don't want the first and second highest here. So n minus 1 is 2 here. I will basically skip the first and second element. third element I need. So after skipping the first and second, whatever the element comes first, right? That's what I need. So if this is present, what I'll do is I'll just print it. That's it. I hope you understood. I wrote it in a one line. I used to split normally, but I'm writing it one line. So first we are taking an array and streaming it. We are sorting it. Here we are skipping the n minus 1 elements. Means n is 3 here. We are skipping the first and second highest element. We are interested in the, so we are basically skipping the first and second smallest element. We are interested in the basically third smallest element. We are taking that and let's print it. So you can see we got 5 as the answer. So that's correct also because 1 and 3 is the first and second smallest element. So that's it. Let us say the requirement was bit different. We had to find the nth highest number. So here we found the nth smallest number. For highest number also it is simple. We just have to change this sorting logic to basically we have to say the reverse order. So once we do this, we are getting an error because we can't apply it on the plain integer. So we have to do boxing. So this will basically convert the primitive type integers to basically stream of integer class, and we are applying sorted logic on it. We are reversing the order. That's it. So comparator reverse requires an integer argument. So that's why we are doing this. Let's run this. So we got 8 as the answer, which is the third highest number. So first is 19, second is 12, third is 8. So I hope you got it. So we have to skip n minus 1 number. Whatever we get after that, right, we have to print it. I hope it's very clear to you. Let's move on to the next question. So let's see the next question. So the question is we have to find the last element of the given array. I hope question is clear. We have to find out the last element of the given array. So let's see how to do it. So here we are given with an array of numbers. We have to find out the last number. So if it is a Java 7 way, it was very straightforward. It was basically the, we can go with last index. This is what the last number is. But in Java 8 world, let's see how to do it. So we have to first iterate on the stream. This is the first step. After that, we have to skip. We have to skip how many numbers? We have to skip basically n minus 1 numbers. So then only we'll get the last number. Now we have to find the first number after that. If it is present, just print it. So let's run it. So I'll just reiterate the solution in a while. So we are doing skip operation. We are skipping the n minus 1 number. Means length minus 1. Here 4 numbers we are skipping. So the last number which we got, right, that's what we are finding here. The find first after that and print it. That's it. I hope you understood how to do it. Let's move on to the next question. So next question is we are given with a list of strings. We have to join the strings basically with opening and closing bracket. So that should be suffix, and we have to add a comma as a delimiter. So let's see how to do it. Given with list of strings, what we have to do is we have to add this opening and closing bracket as a suffix and prefix. In between, we have to add the commas. So let's see how to do it. We'll start iterating on the list. We have to use stream functionality. After that, we have to write some logic to basically combine. I'll propose two solutions for this, but we'll start with first one. I'll show you two solutions. We'll start with the simple one. I'll use map. Map, as you know, we can take this word as an input. This word is nothing but word from the list. Next, I'm just doing a simple operation here, opening bracket, and I'm adding word in between. So I'll just add the word in between, and I'm just closing it. So we have to join the strings. This is a prefix and suffix, and between we have to use delimiter as comma. So we have to collect. So while collecting, what we have to do is we have to basically uh, use a delimiter here. I can say joining. Joining based on what? I have to join based on comma. So this is what I'm getting. Maybe I'll just print it here. Uh, this is what I got it. We have to store that here. So you can say string result. So here basically we are iterating over the word, and we are taking the word and putting between the brackets using concatenation. After that we are collecting, and we are using something called join. So every word which is mapped here, right, it will be added here and comma is placed after that. So let's try to print this. I'll just say result and run it. So we can say it has printed the correct expected result. Let's say if the requirement was to put the brackets like this. Let's see, the requirement was putting the bracket here. Then we can do a different solution. So let's say if the requirement was this, take the strings, put it between this. Then what we can do is we don't need this map at all. So we just have to have opening bracket here and the closing bracket here. This itself will solve that problem. So, but yeah, problem I changed a bit, but solution is this one. This is to help you to understand joining. I hope you saw the solution. Basically, it has joined all the strings, put the opening and closing bracket. I hope you got it, how to do it. And let's move on to the next question. So let's move on to the next question. So next question is we have to find the sum of first two numbers in a given list. So I'll just reiterate, we have to find the sum of first two numbers in a given list. So let's see how to do it. This is the array list. We have to find the sum of first two numbers. So ask us to find the first two numbers sum. What we have to do, if it is a normal Java 7 world, right, it is very straightforward. So we just have to take the first and second element and add it. In Java 8 world, what we can do, we have to understand. So we already learned a concept called skip. Skip is basically to skip some numbers and process the rest of the numbers. There is another concept called limit. So what limit is does is, so let's say I'll just take an example here, numbers, and I'll just start streaming it. I'll limit my size to 2. So what this does is, maybe I'll just print the result and show you. So let me run this. So you can see this helped me to extract the first two numbers. So in limit, you can specify some number. Let's say I want first three numbers. That's it. I have specified that as a limit. So it will not process the numbers after that. So it took the first three numbers. So our requirement was first two numbers. It can be first any numbers or n numbers. So we got the first two numbers. But here, what we get is basically integer. Okay. I mean, out of box class. So we have to basically convert that into int that we know already how to do it. It is integer dot end value. Int value will return the primitive integer. Once we get it, it's pretty straightforward. We just have to do a sum. That's it. So we are not utilizing the sum value. We were to basically assign it to some sum of first two, we can say, and we'll print that result. So two sum of first two. Numbers is we have to print this. So let me run it. So I hope you got it. So limit is a function which is used to basically limit the first how many numbers you have to process. Skip is to basically skip those many numbers and rest of the stream you can process. So I hope you understood the difference. Let's say if the requirement was to find the multiplication of the two numbers. So if the ask was to find the multiplication of first two number, so there is no direct multiply option here. So what we have to do is, so there is no direct multiply as I said. So what we have to do is just maybe let's take this logic because we need the multiplication. We have to rely on basically something called reduce. I'll tell you what reduce does. So what this reduce does, I'll tell you. Let's add the condition here. A comma b. My requirement is I just have to multiply this and get the result. So it's basically returning the optional. So that's why it's complaining. Maybe since I know it will return, I'm going with get. It's not recommended. It's always better to basically check whether there is something. When the better way is this. Let's remove this. So what we can do is with option, we can check if present. Then I'll specify print that. So let me run it. And I'll explain what reduce does after seeing the output. So we got the answer as 200, which is expected. So let me explain you what reduce is doing. It's very simple. So let's say it is used to basically reduce the whole stream into one result. Okay, by applying the condition which we are specifying. Let me repeat. It will basically reduce the stream into one result by applying the logic which is inside the reduce. Let's say I understand what result is doing. Maybe just for the example I'll write here. So what it does is, let's say it takes all the numbers. So this is where reduce logic is coming. So it's basically, let's say I have declared the int result outside with value as 1. So result is equals to result dot num I'm doing. So this is what it is doing. So it will take the result, multiply with num, store it back to the result, take this result, multiply with next number. So it will continue till the end of stream and generate the one final result. So I hope you understood. So basically it takes the stream. So you can ask me here, we are multiplying with 2. This is a formula we are suggesting. Take numbers and multiply. So it's in simple words, it will take the number, multiply and store it in the result, and take the new number, multiply with result. So it like that way it will continue till it completes the stream and generate the one final result out of it and prints it. I hope you got this. So we already saw the output also, it is 200. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment and ask in the comment section. I'll help you. So let's move on to the next question. So let's take the next question. So the question is we have to find the sum of unique numbers in a given list. So I'm reiterating the question. So we have to find the sum of unique numbers in a given list. So let's see how to do it. So we are given with an array list. This contains numbers and some are repeated also. We have to find out the sum of unique numbers. So first thing is start streaming on it and unique number finding. Like if I go with distinct, this will give me all the unique numbers. This is a pretty straightforward one. Now I can't apply sum directly. There is no sum functionality here because this distinct returns integers in this case. Integer, I mean this integer class, not int. So for that reason, what I have to do is I have to do a conversion here. So I have to do map to int. I have to do. So I have to. So this will basically take integer to int value it does. So this will basically return, if I hover on this, right, this will return the integer value, means the primitive type. So to take an integer class and it will return the primitive int. Once we got it, it's pretty simple. Just I'll do sum and I can print the sum here itself. So, so I got the sum. I'll just assign this to a variable, sum of maybe I can say unique numbers. That's it. Print the result. Sum of unique numbers. Unique numbers. So I got the sum. Let me run it. So I got the sum of unique numbers. Here it is basically filtering the duplicates. So sum of unique numbers it is printing. I hope you got it how to do it. So first we use the distinct to basically get the unique number. After that we did this conversion because this was returning stream of integer autobox class. So we had to convert it into primitive type to add the get the sum out of it. I hope you got the logic. Let's move on to the next question. So let's move on to the next question. So question is simple. We have to find the words with k vowels or k number of vowels in a given sentence. So we'll be given a sentence of words. So we have to find, so we have to check each word and see whether it contains k number of vowels. If so, we have to print it as the result. So let's try to understand more with an example. So here, right, we have given a sentence like I have an apple and orange on the table. It's an example sentence. So what we have to do is we have to find the, like here case 3, the number of vowels we want to find is 3 in each word. So here basically we have to find all the words which contains 3 vowels. So vowels we know A, E, I, O, U is the vowel, like A, E, I, O, U, 5 characters. So if any word contains 3 vowels, means it need not be unique. Let's say A is appearing 3 times. Let's understand more with an example here. So here, right, I have is the word which contains A and D, but count as 2. We want count as 3. Let's go to Apple here. It contains A and E, but there is no any other vowels here. But here O is there, A is there, E is there. This is one example. Orange is an example which contains 3 vowels. So there can be some more in the given input. So the problem is we have to identify those words which contains key number of vowels. So maybe first we'll write a logic to find the vowels because if we break that problem, then it is pretty straightforward. So let's try to find out. So let's try to add the logic to find the number of vowels in the given string. Okay. So let's say I'll just take a public static long because this is the return type when I use count. So count vowels in a given string. So basically in a given word, what this function has to do is it has to find how many vowels present. Okay. So first I get word. I'll go with word chars as we already understood, right? I have to convert it into characters. So only way is this one. It will convert to int stream. And after that, I have to map it to object. So then again, I'll do a typecast to character. You know all this logic, so I don't think repetition is required here. So now we have to do a filter. This is where the logic comes. So we have to basically look for those words which contains vowels, and so here, right, so far you understood. So basically we took the word, we converted to character array. Now it is simple, we have to find how many vowels are present here. That's it. So I'll write a filter logic here. I'm taking the character. So how to check vowel is present or not? An easy way is go with A, E, I, O, U, and I'll consider the uppercase also. There can be word with uppercase, A, I, O, U, and index of, we can go. Index of the character is not equals to -1. So what does it do is, maybe I'll complete the logic and explain. So what does it do is, it will take every character from here, apply this filter logic. So AEIO is a word. I'm checking the index. So let's say I have got have, right? So how the iteration happens is H comes here. I'll check AIOU contains H. No. After that A comes. Yes, there is a A here. So it will count. After that, basically, I'll go with another character, that is V. V is not present here. E, E is present. So this returns count as 2. So when I go with orange, O is the first character. We'll check AIOU contains O. Yes. So 1 count. R comes. R is not present here. A is again present. So count as 2. So on. I hope you understood how we are doing the vowel count actually. We'll basically take the string, convert into characters. We'll check those characters are vowels or not, and we'll count also. If it is vowel, count it. So this is the logic to basically find how many number of vowels are present in the given word. Okay. So now the next thing is we have to do iteration. So let's take sentence. So I have to split it by some space so that I'll get each word. Now I have to stream it. So stream I did. Once I start streaming, right? Next is simple. I have to filter those words. I have to filter those words whose count of the vowels is equals to k. That's it. And I just have to do for each and print it. That's it. So I hope you got it. What I'm doing is, here I'm splitting the word based on space. So which will give I, have, an, apple, etc. separate words. After that, I'm applying filter on each word. I'm checking the word whether it contains the, like this count vowels will give me the number of vowels it contains from here. And I'm checking whether it is equals to k. If so, then print it. That's it. So let me run it. So I'm getting an error because I was not returning anything. So here I have to return. So let me run it. You can see the answer is orange. You got it. So we wanted to know all the words with case 2 now. So we wanted to know all the words which contains 3 vowels. Let's say our requirement is 2 vowels. That's simple. So have apple table. All of them contains vowel count as 2. So there is no restriction that it should be unique vowels. It should be any vowel which is appearing k times. I hope it's clear so far. So I hope I understood the logic. So basically we first came up with the logic to count vowels. After that, we basically use that in this function to basically find the number of words which contains k number of vowels. I hope it's very clear to you. Let's move on to next question. So let's move on to next question. So here question is like we are given with a string. We have to find the first non-repeated character in it using string functions. So we are given a string. We have to find the first non-repeated character. So let's see with an example in detail. So we have to find the first non-repeated character in a string using string functions. So if you see, right, S this is the first character, but it is already repeated. W, if you see, this is the first non-repeated character. I is also non-repeated, but this is not the first non-repeated character. I hope you understood. So basically, we have to find the first non-repeated character in the streams. So let's think in terms of Java 7 way first. After that, we'll think about Java 8. So basically, in Java 7 way, how we can do is, it's very simple. We have to just take maybe a map of character and its count. So we have to create this. And next thing is we have to basically iterate over the given string and populate this map. Extract the, like what we can do is it's pretty simple. Maybe I'll just comment it here. So it's like input dot char array. So this will give us the character. So I'll not write the full code, but just a basic version of it. So it's like this, and we can iterate over it and populate the map. So char to count, let's name it. So we have to map. I'm not writing full code. We have to initialize it, it will throw null pointer. So we have to basically populate this. Like key will be the character. So here with this, we'll get every character. We'll check if it is present in the map. If so, we will increment the count. If not, we'll add the count as one. So this will give us basically count of character and the so this will give us basically character to count map. After that, what we have to do is we have to iterate over the given input and check the map if that count is one or not. If so, we have to print it. So after that, what we have to do is we have to basically take this string, traverse again, and check for S what is the frequency, for W what is the frequency, for I what is the frequency, like that. So let's say for S we got 3 as the frequency, this is not the first one. So for W we got the count as 1. So we'll print the W and exit. We'll return from there. So I hope you got it. So first we have to find the character to count map. After that, again start iterating on the input. Check the frequency of every character. So as soon as you encounter a character whose frequency is 1, which is appearing only once, then you just have to print that result and exit. So that's how basically you have to find it using Java 7 version. So let's say if it is in Java 8, what to do? Java 8 also similar logic we have to write using the same functionalities. But in case of Java 8, the problem is if you see, right, input dot, if I do conversion to character array, I can't stream it. There is no stream support. So what we have to do is string has a function called characters or chars. So the string has a function called chars. So what this does is it will take the input string, convert it into integer stream. Okay, here integer value is nothing but the ASCII value of the character. Let's say for our understanding, I'll just print it. So let's run this. Okay, so you can see it has split this Swiss into ASCII. So 115 is an ASCII value of S. So W is 119. So it has printed all the frequencies. So this way you can basically convert the string to basically integer stream. This is supported. So with this, we can take it forward. So what we have to do next is important. So basically this int dot chars, right? It will provide, if I hover on it, it will provide int stream of integers. That is nothing but characters only, but it will be converted to integer number or ASCII number. So it's nothing but characters only, but it's ASCII values we will get it here. First, what we have to do is we have to convert that back to character. That's what I'll do here. So I'll take the character and I'll do a typecasting and convert it into basically character again. This is the first step. So now we got list of characters. So that will solve half the problem. Now it's simple. We have to collect it. Collect we know already. Collect is basically to basically kind of do multiple operation, but majorly we have used for group by. So here also we need group by because we need map and its count. But one extra thing is, since the next step will be applied on top of the map, if I go with the normal map, normal hash map, what will happen is it will not preserve the order. So as you know, right, hash map or hash set will not preserve the order of insertion. But for this one, we need to know the order of insertion. Maybe I'll write the next set of logic and I'll explain better. So here what I'll do is I'll group by. I'll group by basically based on character. That is my key. And so we know this collectors has something called sorry, collectors has something called counting. So this what it does is it will take the character and start counting its frequency and put it in the hash map. But I need linked hash map here. I'll explain in couple of seconds why I need linked hash map. So for that, I just have to do this. So what it does is it will create a linked hash map, put this character and its count in the linked hash map. Linked hash map, as you are aware, it will maintain the order of insertion. So first, if you insert S, right, that will be the first entry in the map and its frequency. For W, same thing. So advantage here is like, if you recall the Java 7 logic which I told, right? In the second loop, we were iterating on the input and we were checking in the map what is the count. So here we don't need that. We are directly iterating over the map itself because map itself will preserve the order of the insertion. So that's how we will basically proceed. So the next step is I will basically do, so I just have to close bracket. So next step is it's simple. We have to do an entry set stream. This we learned just some time back for the other problem. So now we are streaming the map. Okay. So map is internally nothing but entry set, key and value. So that's how we are streaming now. It's time to filter out what I want. I want the character, I'll maybe call it as an entry, whose frequency is equals to 1. The first one I need. That's another thing. So get value whose frequency is 1 and I'll just map that to entry dot. Basically, I need its key, right? That's what I'm extracting here. Entry dot key here. So this is what I'm extracting. Once I got the key, next is like I have to add a terminal operation. Find first. I just need the first one. I don't need anything else. I'll take the character array, group it, and after that I'm started streaming the map. In map, I'm checking the first character whose frequency is 1. Since I'm using linked hash map, order of insertion is managed. So first key will be S, next key will be W, so on. But in case of hash map, hash set, order is not preserved. This is very much important. Now we got the result. I'll just say if it is present, print it. That's it. Just here you can use method reference. We already did it in other problems as well. So I hope you understood the logic. So convert the string to character array. After that, we are grouping it and creating a map, linked hash map because to order the linked hash map to preserve the order. After that, we are just checking the first key whose key, after that, we are checking the first key whose value is 1. As soon as we got it, we exit. So let me run it. So you can see we got W as the answer. I hope you got it. So this is how basically you will find the first entry whose key frequency is 1. So let's say the requirement is bit different. We have to find the first repeated character. I'll just say we need to find the first repeated. Very simple logic change. We just have to do count is greater than 1. That's it. Here, just find the frequency whose count is greater than 1. So we got it as S. I hope you got the both variants. Non-repeated, just make it equal. You will get the non-repeated. So I hope you got it. You can add some more variations also. Let's say I want the second uh, repeated character. That's simple. I'll go with skip. Skip we already learned. So you can use skip. I don't want the first one. I want the second one, n minus 1. So here second is what I'm looking. So 2 minus 1 is 1. That's it. Run it. So this will give me the second non-repeated character. So which is I here. I hope you got the variations. So this is how you have to practice. Take a problem, try out different variations. So you'll understand the functionalities of the programming language easily. So I hope you got it. Let's move on to next question. So this is the next question. So what question says is we have a, so this is the next question. So question is like we are given with list of integers. We have to find the minimum number, maximum number, sum of all the numbers, average of the numbers, count of the numbers, all those operations. So normally, right, to do all these things, we have to basically have kind of a 5 streams we have to create and perform the operation. Is there any better way we can do? Like when we have to find out some kind of a statistics on list of numbers, can we do with some other better way? Yes, there is a special function from the streams which will help to achieve all these things. Let's see how to do it. So we are given with basically a list of numbers. We have to find minimum, maximum, sum, etc. As I said already, like this requires 5 different basically streams. We have to create 5 different streams and perform operation. So let's take the numbers and let's start streaming it. So here we have to map it to int stream. This is one of the prerequisite. After that, we have function called summary statistics. This does all the magic. So here I'll just run the logic, just n. So this summary statistics does all the magic. I have to store this result. Let me hover on it and it is saying it's not getting used. So what we have to do is we have to create object with it in summary statistics and maybe I'll call it as stats. So let's try to print and see. I'll not cover all, maybe I'll cover few. So one is minimum, or let's see, maybe we'll cover all so that you will understand different functions it supports. Minimum is simple. Let's take the stats. So basically get min, it does the minimum. So next we are interested in the maximum. That's also straightforward. Get max. And next is the average, sum average count. So next is sum. So there is a sum related function. Sum. Next is average. So there is average related function also. And the last one is count. So let's do that. Get basically count also. So let's try to run it and see what it prints. Boom. So basically it has identified the minimum, maximum, sum, average, count, etc. So with just one summary statistics, you will get all this bunch of things. So basically, we learned how to use summary statistics. Mostly, we covered majority of the functionalities it provides. So if you need some kind of a statistics on this list of numbers, right, this is one of the best utility function, I would say you can use it. I hope you understood this clearly. So let's see the next question. So the question is, we have to find the word with third highest length. So we'll be given bunch of words. We have to find the word with third highest length. Let's see how to do it. To find, so we have to find the word with third highest length. So we have solved similar problem. We had to find some nth highest and nth lowest number in the given array list. So we have to use similar logic here. But first thing is we have to find the the first thing which is required is we have to sort this given strings based on length. So there actually we were directly using the sorted functionality out of the box. But here we have to say on what basis we have to sort the string. So let's start the stream here. Next is we have to sort it. So on what basis we have to sort the string. So I'll basically give you two versions of this code. So first one will go with this one, of lambda version. So we are taking word 1 and word 2 here, and we have to find the third highest length. Means the array list should be sorted in a descending order. So what we'll do is we can use something called integer but compare. We can compare the length of the second word with the length of the first word. So this will help us to basically sort the array list in the descending order. Okay. So this is standard logic. We are taking two words. You can imagine this is like passing this to compare method. So comparator, compare, you might have heard these methods, right? So in Java 7 world, we used to use that. But in Java 8 world, it's straightforward. You can use lambda. So we'll take two words and we are comparing the lengths. So two words here is like in this. So two words here is like we have this list of words, right? So internally we are passing words here. It will take two words at a time, compare the length, and it will sort based on the descending order. The requirement is we have to find the third highest length, means first and second highest length is not required. We have to skip that. We know already how to do it. So n minus 1. So 3 minus 1, that is 2 here. We are skipping that. After that, we have to find the first element which comes after that. We have to print it. So maybe we can even print here. That's it. So let me try to run this and show you the result. So we got apple. Apple is the third highest length string. Let's say we want second highest length. Simple. The first one we are skipping and we'll run it. This will give us the second highest length word. So I hope you understood how to basically find the nth highest word in the given array list based on the length here. So is there any other simpler way we can do it? Yes. So this sorted logic, right? We can write it in some more modular way or simpler way. So comparator has something called comparing int. The previous logic was also using comparator only. It was comparing the length of the string, but it was extra code we had to write. But here, what we can do is we can rely on something called string.length, and we need it in a reverse order, means descending order. So I'm just doing it. So I'll explain it here. What I'm doing is comparing the int of the string length. So what it does is it will take same the strings and it will take the length of the string and it will compare, and the result will be in the reversed order. So I hope you understood. It will take every word, compare the with other words, It will take every word, compare with other words using length and reverse the result. After that, rest of the logic is remain same. So this is another way you can do it. Let me run it. So you got it. So let's say you have to find the second highest. Let's say you have to find the third highest. Just make it 2, run it, you will get apple. So I hope you understood how to do it. Like basically both the logics which I wrote, right, it is related to comparator, compare methods only. The first one is more explicit. We had to take the word and mention the length, etc. Here it is, I'm using more library functions here. So this is more simpler. This is how you can do it. So I hope you understood why I did reverse, because by default, this comparison happens in ascending order. We want the descending order because we want the third highest length string. So I hope you understood clearly. Let's move on to the next question. It's like we are given a list of transactions, transaction as a class, and transaction objects are created, a list of transactions. We have to find the sum of transaction amounts for each day using Java streams. So maybe we'll see the problem in the editor so that you'll understand better. Let's move on to editor and see how to do it. So this is the problem statement. We are given with list of transactions. We have to find the sum of the transaction amount for each day. So here transaction contains date and amount. We have to find the transaction sum for each date. Let's see the example detail. So here you can see, right? It contains 5 transactions, and for each day there is some amount. So let's say there are overlapping days, right? So for 20th there are 2 entries, for 21st there are 2 entries. So we have to basically sum it up and print the result. So you can just think how you will do it in Java 7 way. You have to basically iterate over this list of transactions and basically create some kind of a map with key as a date and value as sum or the amount. Since it is using decimals, you can say it is double. So there you will basically look for the date. If it is first time, add the date, add the amount. If it is coming second time, extract the date and add the value to the existing one and calculate. So how to do it in Java 8 world? So I'm sure you must know this, but some methods you may not be able to recall, or some methods you may not be aware. That we'll understand here. So we need map here. There is no change, and it is string, and I'll go with double, and we can say daily sum or daily sums, or daily sum is fine. So transactions is the one we have to process. We have to start streaming. This is the basic stuff. We have to collect. So if there is a map, right, we have to use collect. So how to collect is important. So basically, we have to use something called group by. So which we know already. We have used in a couple of examples. I'm grouping by. What is my group by condition here? First is I have to get the transaction date. One way is you can say maybe like trans and trans dot get date you can do. This is one way. I'll give another variation quickly in some time. So here we have used something called counting. So counting was useful if we have to count how many times this key is appearing. But here what we need is we have to sum the values corresponding to that count or the corresponding to that key. So here what we have to do is we have to find the sum of the amount for every date. So here we can use something called summing double. You can see summing and summing long. There are a lot of variations. We are going with summing double. Okay. In summing double, what we need is transaction. Transactions, basically amount is required here. I hope you understood. So basically for this transaction, let me close this. For this transaction, we are basically getting the date here, and for the same transaction we'll get the amount also, and we'll try to sum it up. So I hope you understood. Basically, we are taking transaction date as a key, values like summing the amount. That's what we are doing. So let's see, there is an error with respect to bracket, and let's see where is the problem. We need another bracket. That's it. And as we know, we can replace this with method reference. So that's what ID is suggesting. I'll go with this. I'll go with this. So basically, my date and amount is replaced. Why I wrote initially is to make you understand. For every date, we are summing the value in the value section. Now it's pretty simple. We just have to print, as you know how to print the map. We have already done a couple of times. We have to for each, and we have to take this. So our key is date, value is sum. You can give anything. This should be meaningful. So I'll go with this out. I can say uh, date is, so let's give a space, date, and we can say amount is. So whenever you are printing result, right, follow good practices, because if you don't give the proper spacing and all, it is difficult to understand the output. So let me run this. So we got the result. So there was one space required here, just a small formatting. So I hope you understood how you can basically calculate the transaction sum for every day. This is pretty simple. I hope by now you know about collectors, group by, and all the functionalities at certain extent. What I would normally recommend, as I told a little earlier also, whenever you're using any library, see the other functionalities it provided. So it will be handy whenever you're writing some other code in future. I hope you understood. Let's move on to next question. So the next question is, we are given with an integer array. We have to find if it contains duplicate elements. If so, we have to return true, otherwise you have to return false. So you have to find in the given array whether it contains duplicate integers or not. If so, return true, always false. So let's see how to implement this. First, we'll try to understand how we can do this in Java 7 so that you can easily understand Java 8 way. So basically in Java 7, right, we can rely on set. So in set, we can go with hash set. So we can name it as maybe num set, and this will be new hash set. So let's start iterating over the given integer array. So as you know, set will not allow duplicate numbers. So we'll use that behavior to find whether the given number list contains duplicate elements or not. So I'm just iterating over the given array of numbers. So what we'll do now, we can do two ways. Either we can do contains check, or we can do something called add check. So add, so we have to basically add this number. So nums array of I. So what add does, like if you check this method signature, so basically it has a return type also. So it has a return type of Boolean. So if you are when you are inserting, let's say if you see if the set already contains the element, the call leaves the set unchanged, and the hash set contains the number already. If you try to add it again, it will return false. So we have to check that. So what we are doing is we are trying to add the number. If the set already contains the number, it will return false. So we just print that whenever it identifies a duplicate number. So maybe we can say array contains duplicate elements, and once it is done, we have to exit here, return from this. If not, we'll print array contains unique elements. I hope it's fully clear to you. So we can use for each also. This is another suggestion. We can go for that. So basically what we are doing is if this num set already contains a number, if so, whenever we are trying to add, it will return false. So if not, it will return true. So let's run and see. So ideally, it should not return anything from here because array contains unique number. But let's say if I add one duplicate here just to show the condition of duplicate. So array contains duplicate numbers. So this is what in Java 7 we do. But let's say we have to do this in Java 8 because same logic we can convert it in Java 8 as well. This holds good. So then how we have to do it is a question. So first is we have to iterate on the given number of arrays. So that's one of the important thing. So how will we do it? So the set is required anyway in our example. So maybe I'll just take out rest of the stuff. So do you know how to iterate on the, so do you know how to get stream from the arrays? There is no direct stream functionality or anything. So if I do this, right, ID is automatically doing, it has added arrays.stream. We don't need sum. So basically what we need is we have to stream the numbers, and uh, the stream has a method called anyMatch. So what anyMatch does, we have to understand. So anyMatch is a terminal operation. Okay. So if what it checks is any element in the stream, if it matches the condition which is present inside the anyMatch, if so, it will return true and it will exit there. If not, it will continue till the end and return false. So I hope you understood. Basically, any match, what it does is it will take the stream of elements, run through with a condition which is inside the any match brackets. So here what we add is, so basically same that set condition what we discussed a little earlier. So num set dot add, we are trying to add this element. That's it. So basically what it returns is if the array contains duplicate, this any match returns true because any match checks for this condition. If it is true, then answer will be true. Otherwise, it is false. So we can assign this to a Boolean response maybe. So after that, we can print simple sysort here. So let's say array contains duplicate. Can say, so here we have to response. So if it is true or false, it will print. So let's run this. So you can say array contains duplicate true. So let's say if it is a unique list, unique array, then it will print the false, which means array does not contain any duplicate numbers. I hope it's very clear. I hope you understood how you can write the Java 8 code in a very simple fashion. So this is how you can identify the duplicate number, like whether an array contains duplicate or not. Is there any better way we can do it? So there is another way which we can do it. So let's use that. Okay, maybe I'll just take out all this thing. So we need anyway Boolean response. Boolean, maybe you can say has duplicate, and so it's always better to name the variables with clear meaning so that it is easy to understand the code. So we have to stream the array, that is anyway required because it's a stream problem. So once this is done, stream has a function called, so stream has a function called distinct. So if I use this distinct, right, what it does is it will remove the duplicates. Okay. Once we got this, we can run a terminal operation called count. So what count does is once we remove the duplicate, it will count how many numbers remaining. So if it is not equals to num's length, if it's very clear, if it is not equals to num's length, it will return false, otherwise it returns true. So let's say array contains duplicate. I should have used that previous condition. I removed it. I should have used the previous this one, but I have removed it. So I hope you understood. I'm just streaming. I'm checking. I'm basically removing all the distinct, and after that, I'm checking the count of the array after the removal of the distinct is same as num length. So let's understand. Let's say if it is a unique array, right? So what will happen is in this case, it is 6. So after removal of the duplicate, it will be 6 only because there is no duplicate. So when we compare this, this is not true. So which means it returns false. So when I check here, it returns false. So if I run this, you can see it says false. So this is another easy way to do it. So normally I'll not suggest too many ways so that it will confuse otherwise. That's why I just suggest only which is required. So you can see it is true. So I hope you understood whether array contains duplicate number or not. Let's move on to the next question. So question is we have to write a code to basically print the count of each character in a string. We have to count each character in a string and print it. So let's see how to do it. So here I have created a basic input string which contains hello world. So we have to count each character, how many times it is appearing in the string and print that in the response. So just think in Java 7 way, what we used to do. It's a simple thing. We used to create something like map of maybe character, and we used to have some kind of a count here. So we used to start iterating over the input, take every character, and we used to check whether it is present in the map. If so, we used to increment the count. If not, we used to add and add the count as 1. So that's what normally in Java 7 world we used to do. So in Java 8 world, what we can do? So one is like we have to convert the string to character array, right? So it's like this input dot to char array, and we have to run stream on it. But the problem is if I see stream, right? There is no stream support even if I use um, arrays dot stream or whatever. Even that is also not supported for character array. If you see, it will throw an error, so which is not supported. Then what we can do? There are multiple ways we can handle it. One of the ways we can use split function. So what split does is it will basically split the string based on some delimiter. So let's see how that is helpful. So maybe I would say split string. This is just for explanation purpose. So what we can do is we have to split. So split string anyway returns an array. How we have to split is split based on this. So maybe I'll just show you the output. After that, it will make sense what I was trying to do. So if I run this, right, I will get. So let's try to run this. Maybe I'll take a for each loop, split, or maybe I'll say split string. Um, I'll just say split str. So this is a split string. So you can say it is string. And if I print here, so you can see I'm printing every string which is generated after the split. Okay. So you can see it has basically generated all the characters as a string. So what this input split is doing is it is basically splitting the whole string into one length strings like h is 1, e is 1, but it is not character, it is one length string. So as we understood, right, we can't run that stream on the character array. So this is another way. I'm extracting character in such a way that I'll use this split operation. So with this regex, I can extract it as a one length string. So then I can perform the operation what I discussed a little earlier. So let's see how to do it. Maybe I'll just remove this. I'll just use this. Okay. So here, right, one more requirement is if you see there is a space in between. So when we do the split, right, I hope you saw the previous output. It generated HELLO and space and all the other characters also as a one letter string. So we don't need that space. So what we can do is first we have to filter that. So you can see out of the box, I mean, the ID only is supporting the arrays.stream. We don't need to add it explicitly. So since we are split, we are getting the stream functionality for the string, which is out of the box. So filter, what I'll do is I'll just filter the empty strings. So let me just do this. I'm interested in non-empty strings. Okay, so basically you can see between this hello and world, there is a space that I don't want, so that's what I'm removing here. And I'm collecting. So you know there is a collectors group by functionality. You have learned in the previous questions. So group by is mainly for some kind of a map creation. So here I'll use functional identity. Functional identity also I hope it's clear for you. It is basically whatever the input I'm getting from here, right? That's what the functional identity here means one length string. And here what I'll do is I have to count it. So this also you have already learned collectors counting. So this basically helps to count the strings, one length string. That's it. So it is basically saying the return is ignored, which means we have to store it. Let's create the map of string, and the count is in the long. It will support more counts. So I'll say it's cat to count a map. That's a meaningful name, cat to count. So let's print and see what it prints, how the result look like. Cat to counts, and for each, what I'll do is for each character. So I hope you already learned how to iterate on the map in the earlier videos. So I will say character and this is count. So here we have to print it. So while printing, I can say character with some formatting, and here it is a character. And next, what I'll do is I'll just basically have the count and same here and just do formatting. Just let's run and check the output. You can see it has counted all the characters H E L O W R D because it will not print all the characters because some characters are repeated. So you can see that here. I hope it's clear. So what we did is we basically split the string into one length string. After that, we filtered the blank characters. After that, we filtered the blank spaces or blank strings. And after that, we just group by and print the result. I hope it's clear to you like how to do it. There are even other ways to do the same thing, but I don't want to confuse you guys. This is a very simple way. So we first took a string, use the split operation. After that, we convert to map. Let's move on to next question. So next question is like we are given with the list of integers. We have to find the first odd number of the list and print the result. And we have to use the stream functionality. So requirement is very simple. In the given list of integer, we have to find the first odd number. So, and we have to print the result. Let's see how to do it. We have this list of integers. We have to find the first odd number. So odd number identification, you guys have already know, right? So it's like if number mod 2, if it is equals to 0, which means it is even, and if it is not divisible, means if the mod operation returns non-zero, means it is odd. I hope you guys know this. This is a very basic thing. So in Java 7 world, it is pretty straightforward. Like we just have to see if this condition holds good on the list. So we have to print that first occurring number. So that's what we used to do. In Stream world, how to do it, let's understand. Okay, so let's take numbers and we have to stream it. This is anyway there. And let's filter the same condition here, what we discussed, right? So if the element is element mod 2 is not equals to 0. So I hope it's clear. If the number is not divisible by 2, means it's an odd number. So we have to find the first one. So that's a requirement. I hope you understood. We have to find the first one and we have to store it. So I'll talk about find any operation also in a while, because so in find there are two ways. So in find there are two methods supported. One is find first and find any. I'll just talk about that in a while. So it's returning optional and it is first odd. So we have to take it. So we got the first odd. So it will return optional because there can be a possibility that there is no odd at all. In that case, optional really useful. So first odd, what we have to do is in case of option is we have to see if present. So this is very much important because otherwise it can be null pointer if you directly do a get operation. So if present, just print it. That's it. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a lambda to method reference here. So if it is a lambda, it was straightforward, like take an element, pass it on to system.out.println. But since it is a just one element I have to print, I'll go with method reference. That is straightforward. So if I just run this, right, I'll see the output. So you can see we got 7 as the answer. That is the first odd number. So I told I'll talk about find any also. Let's say if I go with find any. So and if I run this, so it will also return 7. Then what is the difference? Maybe I'll run one more time. You can ask me what is the difference. So find first and find any, right? Both work same in case of single stream. I'll try to add some more elements so that we can utilize the parallel stream. So just few more elements I'll add. Okay. So let's change this to parallel stream and we'll try to run this. So we got 17 as the answer. But what we wanted is the find first odd number. Let's say if I run this find any one more time, still it is returning 17, but the results can't be predictable. Okay, here I'm getting consistently 17, but result is not predictable. But if I go with find first and if I run, you can see it should print 7. Yeah. So difference here is in case of find any, right? What it does is, maybe I'll just add find any again. So what find any does is, so we are basically dividing this given array list into multiple streams, parallel streams. So find any checks if there is any odd number in any of the streams. So this whole given array list, right, it will be split into multiple streams. It will be processed parallelly. What I mean is, like, let's say in the first stream, there can be 2, 4, I'm just giving an example, 6, 8, And in the second stream, there can be, for example, 7, 10, 12, 13. And in the third stream, something else. For example, it can be 14, 15, and 16, 17. This is just for example I'm writing. So when I do find any, what it does is it will, so there will be a parallel processing happens with a parallel stream. So find any checks, is there any odd number in any of these? So it returns that. It will not check whether it is the first one or a second one. No, it will return if there is a matching odd number, matching condition. It just returns it. So find any is useful when you don't want to retrieve first one, second, or something. There is no constraint on such. Then you can use find any. Find any is very useful with parallel stream. So it basically look for matching filtered criteria and retrieve the element and return. But find first looks for the first one. So even if you use parallel stream, right, find first may not be that useful, but find any is useful. Let's say your requirement was like check this array list and return any odd number, then find any is useful. But if your requirement is check this array list and find the first number with odd behavior, right? Then go for find first. I hope it's very clear to you. And parallel stream, by the way, it is useful to basically run our application faster, but it has its own caveats. If you want to know that, please comment on that. I'll create separate video for that. Let's move on to the next question. Let us move on to next question. Next question is we have to find the intersection of two lists using Java streams. I'll reiterate the question. We have to find the intersection of two lists using Java streams. So basically we have to print the common elements between the lists. So let's see how to do it using streams. So here I have created two lists, okay? So we have to find the intersection, the common elements between the two lists. So what we used to do in Java 7 world is, so basically we used to basically iterate on one of the list. In the second list, we used to check contains that element. If so, we used to print it. Create a list. This is for output. We are not changing the input list. So we can say intersection, and so we have to stream either of the list. I'll go with list one dot stream. So once we start streaming, next what we have to do is, in the normal way, we used to have some kind of an if check where we used to check list 2 contains whatever the element which we are getting from the list 1. So here what we can do is, we have to use filter. Filter does the same job. So list 2. So what we have to do is list 2 and we can do contains. So this does the magic and we can collect the result to a list. So we can just say to list. I hope it's clear. So let's print this result and see intersection. So basically this should print all the common elements between the two lists. Let us run and check the code. You can see it is printing 4 and 5. That is the intersection, the elements which are common between the two lists. So some people may get confused with this. So basically what we are doing is we are taking the element and from the first list and we are checking that is present in the second list. It's same as this. So let's say if it is an element, what I'm doing here is, so basically list 2 dot contains this element. So that's it. So this is what I'm doing. Instead of writing the lambda, we are going with method reference to make it simple. So even ID will only suggest that if you hover on it, right, it will say replace lambda with method reference. This is what I was doing. And let's say you have an option not to use the streams. Then you can go with another logic, simple logic. What you can do is, let's say you are allowed to change the input. Then you can go with some function called retain all and list 2 So what it does is it will basically retains only the common elements. So if I run this, you will see the result. You can see I'm getting an error here. So you must be thinking like retain all if you hover on it, right? It is just to basically retain the common elements and remove the excess element from the list one. But I'm getting this error mainly because if you have observed that error clearly, right? It was saying unmodifiable list. I'll just run one more time and show you. It's saying unsupported operation exception. If you see, right, like ideally this retain all should have basically given me the common elements, but I'm getting unsupported operation exception remove. So basically we are trying to remove something from the list one. But why it is failing is if so why we are getting that error is if you hover on this as list, right, it will clearly say if you are if you would like to change the size of this list, then it will create a problem. I hope it's clear. So basically, if you want to change this array list, then it will create a problem. Basically, it is an unmodifiable list. So it's an immutable list. You can't change it. So what you can do is either you can change this creation method to make it mutable, or else one more way you can do is you can create a new list. So let's create a new list. We'll call intersection only. So an intersection list, what I'll do is new array list. I'll take list one as an argument. So basically here I'm taking a copy of list one. So now if I do list intersection retain all on list two, so basically intersection is now pointing to list one here. Here I'm doing remove, here I'm saying retain only the common elements. So now if I run, let me print this intersection. Now if I run, right, I don't get that error. You can see 4 and 5 is printed. I hope you understood the error. So basically this arrays as list if you create. So basically if you run this arrays as list, it will give you an unmodifiable list. It's immutable in nature. So you can't remove or you can't add. Basically you can't change the size of the list, but you can replace some elements. That is perfectly fine. But you can't change the structure or size of the array list. I hope you got it. So whenever you are using arrays as list, you should be mindful that it will create unmodifiable list. Means size of the array list can't be changed. Values can be updated, not deleted, or cannot be added also. I hope it's clear. So let's move on to the next question. So question is like how to group by employee age using strings. So here you'll be given with a list of employees. You have to basically group all the employees with same age. So we have already used group by in some of our example, right? We used the group by sometime back. So basically to find the word and its frequency. It's a bit different. We are grouping all the employees of same age. Let's see how to do it. Here I have created an employee class. Okay, so this contains name and age. So we have created a list of employees. So let's code the solution. So basically, we have to group all the employees of similar age. So it will be a map of integer would be my key and list of employee would be my value. So I would say age to emp map and let's try to code it. So I'll start the employees. I started streaming. Once I stream, next is just I have to use collect collectors. Collector has something called group by. So here I have to specify on what basis I have to group by. So I'll just go with simple emp dot age. So that's it. Let's try to print the result age to map for each. So here, since we are iterating over the map, we have to specify key and value, uh, basically placeholders. So age is my key and value is a list. So let's print it, age and age. Uh, Another thing is list of employees. So the list here. Let's try to print it. I don't have toString method. So let's see what it prints. So it is basically printing the age correctly. And here I'll just give a space. It's giving a list of employees corresponding to that age clearly. I hope you understood how you can basically group by something. So this group by is same as whatever we do in database world also. So as I told a little earlier, so whenever you're learning any library, please learn the different methods involved so it will be always beneficial. So I hope you understood how you can group by employee each in this problem statement. So that's pretty much so it worked because I had toString here. Sorry, I told I did not, but I have the toString method. I overlooked it. That's why it was printing. So let's see the next question. So next question is like how to partition the list of numbers into even and odd groups. So basically the question expectation is we'll be given with list of numbers. We have to basically divide that into even and odd groups. So let's see how to do it. Yeah. So here you can see, right, we have created a list of numbers. So we have to basically now group the numbers based on like even and odd functionality. So for grouping, right, what I'll do is I'll go with map. So I'll go with Boolean. So it's like true or false. So what we'll do is for true, we'll store all the even numbers. For false, we'll store all the odd numbers. And the result value should be list because we'll store list of even and list of odd at the end. And we can say partitioned. So how we'll do is we'll basically start this numbers, we'll stream it. This is the basic stuff, and we have to collect. So just before some time, I had told you to explore the library fully. Then only we can understand functionalities clearly, right? So here we are using collectors. So collectors has a library called partition by. So here we have to specify on what basis we have to partition the given collection. So here the condition is simple. I'll basically say if the number is even, then partition it. That's it. So you can see it's just a one line partition code. But what it does is it will basically create a map, Boolean as a key, and value will be a list of odd and even numbers. So let's see the outcome here. Say if I have to print even numbers, I just have to go here and I have to say partition dot get true. Because if you see my condition, I'm partitioning based on like if it is odd, it will become false. If it is even, it will become true. So that is my partitioning strategy. So let me just say odd numbers and this is false. Let's try to run and see the outcome. So you can see it has grouped all the even numbers and odd numbers. And you should have asked me a question. So nowhere we have mentioned store the result in a list. So this is very much important, okay? So whenever you're learning something, it's always good to ask question, then only you'll understand. So here you can see we are just doing partitioning by and how we are getting a list of integer here. But if you go inside this partition by logic, right, there is a method called toList. Whatever the predicate we are passing, the condition is coming here, and toList is default out of the box they are providing. So the result based on this condition will be stored in a list. It's automatically taken care. It's at the library level only they are providing. So I hope you understood how you can basically partition the given list of integers into even and odd numbers. Let's move on to the next question. Let's move on to the next question. So the question is we have to calculate the average age of a student. So basically we are given with list of students and we have to find out the average age of the student by using Java strings. I hope the question is clear to you. Let's see how to do it. So I have created a student class here with name and age with all the getters and toStrings, etc. So this is a list of students I've created. So expectation is we have to find the average age of the students. So first we have to iterate. So we have to use stream, and there is no direct average we can use here, which is not available. So what we have to do is we have to basically go for some map. So we'll go for map to int. So what we'll do is we'll take this student and we will map it to student.age. And once this is done, after that we can go for average. So basically we are extracting or taking the age uh, information out of the stream of students and we are averaging it out. So we got the average age. We just have to store that result. So that's what it's complaining. So we can basically, it will return of type double. So we can say average age. So it's still complaining. Let's see. It's saying optional double it is returning. So why it is complaining optional double is like whenever we do this average, right? If you see, it will return the optional average. So it is saying there may not be result also. So for that, what we have to do is or else we have to use. So what does it mean is let's say for some reason we have not got any result. Maybe ours, I mean the whatever the list of ages we are getting here, right? For some reason, if it is empty and we are not able to get the average value, then what we are saying is return 0 from here. So once that is done, so here we can print the result, average age. So if we just go with average, so what it is saying is it can be optional. So we are handling like let's say if the age is empty, if it is not able to basically get the average out of it, then return 0.0 as a default value. So let's try to run this. So you can see it is printing the average age of the student. So you can ask me, is there any other ways we can do it? So normally, as I told, I'll not recommend too many different variants, but here I'll suggest one more way. Like first thing is like here we can do simple restructuring here. Um, so which we already discussed right here. We can go for method reference. You can see it will only suggest. So this is exactly same. It will just give the result as it is. Nothing much difference. The variation, like the another way to basically calculate this is, let's go here. Maybe I'll just take this variable name. So I'll just comment this whole code. What we'll do is we will basically stream it. That's one of the important thing. Students.stream. We are interested in the average age. Okay. So we can rely on something called collect. So in collect, actually, what we can do is we know collect. We can use collectors. which I've already shown you in another example. So here there is a method called averaging int. So which is help to basically calculate the average of the input which we are providing. So here we can directly go with our method reference or the lambda one, which I already showed you a little earlier for previous, I mean the version here. So you can go for lambda or you can go with method reference, but method reference is more cleaner approach. So let's run this. So it's printing the average. So I hope you understood. What we are doing is we are just streaming and we are using collectors dot averaging int, and we are passing this student stream to that, and we are calculating the average out of it. And normally what I would recommend is whenever you're practicing, right? So don't just restrict to, for example, averaging int here. See if there is any other important methods. So counting we understood. There is group by. So there are a lot of important methods here. So best way to learn any programming language, right? So whenever you're using any library, see if there are any other uh, different types of methods which we can use in our coding. So best way to learn the coding is, so whenever you're playing with any library, right, see any other important methods are there which can be used in your code. So that way you'll familiarize with the library, as well as you'll understand like different methods which are available also. So that's how you can learn. I hope you understood this question and answer. So next question is how to sort by multiple fields using streams. So here you can assume like we are trying to sort some custom object that contains multiple fields, and we have to sort using streams. This is one of the little trickier one, and it is useful for our day-to-day coding also. So let's see how to tackle this. I hope you can see. So here you can see, right? I have a custom class employee. It contains name and age. So we have to basically sort by multiple fields. So what we'll do now, we'll first try to sort by age. If age is equal, then we'll sort by name. I hope the problem statement is clear. Let's try to solve this problem. So the problem is we have to sort by multiple fields using streams, and we have this employee class. So we have created basically a list of employees also. Let's try to see how to do it. So we have to stream it. That's the first thing. And we have to sort it. So these two things are important. So now it's a custom sorting. So we have to sort based on certain fields. So how to do it? So basically what we'll do is we'll go with comparator, okay, and we'll go with comparing int, because first let's go with comparing the age. If the age of the employees are same, then we'll compare based on the name. So we'll sort the names in a alphabetical order in an ascending order. So that's what we'll do. First we'll compare with the age. If age is same, we'll go with the name comparison. So here we have to specify the condition. I'll basically start with a little tricky way, but after that I'll simplify. So here, right, basically we are not specifying what is the type of the object this comparator is taking. So we have to specify it's of type employee, and otherwise it will consider it as an object. So we can't invoke the certain basically method of it. So here if I do this, I can get the employee's age data member. Otherwise, what it will do is it will consider the parameter as type object, and it will try to search it. In Java 7, if you remember, we will basically specify the type in the comparator signature itself so that it can remember what type of object it can, what type of object it is processing. So here we have to explicitly specify. So first we are comparing based on the age. Let's say if the age is same, then comparing, there is another function. So we have to just compare based on the name. So that's it. And let's print the result at the end. So this will print the result. So what we are doing is we are streaming and we are sorting based on the employee's age first. If the age is same, we are comparing based on the name and we are printing the result. We'll basically run this. After that, I'll suggest you how we can optimize or simplify further. You can see it has sorted based on the age. So lowest age we got here. After that, we got Bob. And in case of Alice and Charlie, so ages are same. So we are basically sorting based on the alphabets. I hope it's clear for you. So let's say if there is a requirement, uh, let's try to simplify first. Let's say here instead of this one, what we can do is we can go for function reference here. So it's basically we can call get age here. And one more thing here, right? We have not specified the object earlier because it was already told here. It's enough. So we don't need to explicitly typecast it here. So here also I'm just changing this to basically a method reference. This is more cleaner way. What we are doing is we are iterating on the employees and we are calling get age method of the employee and we are comparing the employees based on age. If age is same, then we'll compare based on the name. So even if I run this, we'll get the same result. So let's see the result. I hope it's clear for you. Let's say the requirement is to sort in a descending order. So what we did is an ascending order sorting. So in descending order, it's pretty straightforward. Just use reversed here and go and run. So it will basically reverse the whole flow. So you can see we got Charlie first and Alice next, Bob and David. So the age 30 got the priority and 20 got the least priority. And even if you see this, Charlie and Alice also sorted. So basically, it has considered Charlie as first. That's alphabetically greater character. So that's why after that, Alice is printed and Bob and David is printed. I hope you understood. So how you can basically in a sort in a descending order. Let's move on to next question. So first question is how to count each element or word from the array list using streams. Question is pretty straightforward. We'll have a array list of elements. We have to count each element or word from the array list. We'll go with maybe a list of strings and let's see how to count each of that. So let's get started. So what we'll do is we'll go with a map. So it is of type string. Value should be long. I'll tell you why once I implement. So whenever you are writing any code, right? So follow all the coding standards. So here we are creating a variable. So give a meaningful name so that anybody can understand. So it's a word to count map. Okay. And we have to stream over the words. That's a basic thing. And we have to collect the response. So this is where actually we have to write the actual logic. So we have to store it in the map and the value is basically long. So I'll tell you why. So why we'll get long, we'll get to know here. So collectors we have to use. Collectors has a function called group by. So in database world, you know, right? We can use group by to group all the same data. We can even get count of the same data or we can do other operations also. So here we are interested in count. So in collectors we have a function called group by. So first input is word, so we have to group by word and what we are expecting as a value is its count. So collectors class has something called counting. So what this counting does is it will basically count all the words. So So what this logic is doing is basically we are grouping based on the word that is, for example, apple. Apple will be my key. Value will be count of the apples. So so this collectors and collectors dot counting has helped me to get the count of my key. So I've stored my result in the word count map. So let's print the result and see whether it is working. So my map is word to count map and there is a function for each which we can use to print the result. We are iterating over map, right? So there will be two parameters, word and count, and we have to print the result. So just 1 minute. And bracket is required here. So here, let's close this. So here basically we are iterating on the word map that contains a string and integer. So we have specified that here, and we'll print the result here. So maybe we can say word, and we can give uh, just a better formatting I'm doing. So here I'll go with the count. So this is the output. So this is the final code. Let's run and check the result. So you can see it has printed all the words and its count. So to achieve the same thing, there may be other methods also. So I don't want to confuse you guys. I'll go with one or two standard approaches so that you can remember easily and you can use it in your day-to-day work as well as in the interviews also. So one more minor change we can do here is, so here if you see, right, we are just using word to word lambda. So this may not be required actually. What we can do is in Java, there is a thing called function identity. So what this function identity is, like, we are iterating on the words, right? So this word is a function identity here. So you don't need to explicitly mention. If you use function identity, it will basically take that word as the argument here. So let me run and show you the outcome. Yeah. So I hope you got to know how to basically count the elements of words in a given array list. This is one of the important thing because it looks easy. If you have not tried these functionalities before, right, it will become difficult in the interview. So let's move on to next question. Let's move on to next question. Next question is we have to find the longest string in a list of strings using Java strings. So basically we are given with a list of strings. We have to find out the longest string and print the result. Seems easy, right? Let's see how to do it. So here I've created basically a list of strings. We have to find out the string with longer length. So, or the longest string. It seems easy, but is there any direct out of the box functionality from the stream? So we started streaming. I don't see anything. Maybe we can search for something called max, but even in max also there is nothing out of the box. So what we have to do is we have to basically print the string with longest length, or in other words, longest string. So we need something longest or maximum. So we have to specify the condition here. What is the condition? So here we have to write basically something called comparing int, and we have to basically say of what, of length. So this is the code we are looking for. It's saying it's not used, result is not used. So what is the result of this? So let's say if I go with string and if I say longest, so let's see, it's complaining because it is expecting optional. So I can make it as optional. So why it is saying it's optional? Because so in some situation it can be null also. There may not be a longest length. So we may get some null result. So instead of that, it is basically returning the optional result. So you may have some questions on this one, how this is working. Maybe we'll go a little deep later. I'll just print the result and after that I'll explain. So let's go with a best way. So if there is an optional, right, first we have to do is if there is something present, then only print it. So I hope you understood. Don't go and print longest dot get. You can get null pointer. So the suggested one is check longest. If it is present, then only print it. So let's see the output. Let's see the output. So you can see we got strawberry. Strawberry is a longest length one. So I hope you understood. So you may have a question about this max functionality, how this is working. Maybe we can double click on it and understand better on this. Got confused about this string dot length and what is happening here. Maybe I'll make it a little more simpler for those guys. So it's like words, we are streaming, this is clear, and we are using something called max. And if you want, right, you can have this whole comparator logic outside also, and you can pass it on to max as an argument. But the preferred one is whatever we have done. Otherwise, I mean, more simplification is not required there. So here, what we are doing is we are basically taking word, and here we are basically getting the word length. That's it. So this is what is happening here. Maybe I'll just assign this to the first one. I'll remove the previous logic. So here you can see, right, we are streaming on the word and we are comparing based on the word length. That's our comparator logic. So we are taking two words and comparing the length. So I hope you know how the comparator and compare logic works. So we are taking two words at a time and comparing the length, and we are finding the longest length string. So if I print this, right, you will get to know same as whatever we got earlier. So we got strawberry. But if you are using IDE like IntelliJ, right, so it will suggest you some more optimization. So here you can go for method reference. So if I hover on this, right, you can see it is saying lambda can be replaced with method reference. I just go with this is the method reference. So what it is doing is it's basically finding the length of the string and it's basically comparing. So we were also doing the same thing, word.length we were doing, but by using method reference, we can write more compact and simpler code. I hope you understood. Let's move on to the next question.